Well, good morning. Happy Monday, said no one ever, but I just try to squeeze it out of my mouth when I can. How was everyone's weekend? Next weekend, we're going to be celebrating my birthday on Saturday. My birthday's actually on Wednesday, but we're going to celebrate together on Saturday and then Father's Day on Sunday. Well, I can tell you right now, there is one father that has pissed off the Pope, and that is Seth. As you all know, hang on, first of all, I have to get to this. I am very jealous of Melanie. She said, I sat in a river all weekend. That's my kind of swimming. You and I can hang together anytime. Sitting in the river, that's what I'm talking about. I love it. Yeah, what has happened over the last few days, and I do know about the neighbor, speaking of JLR, I was super busy this weekend, so I haven't gone through it yet. You know me, late to the punch. But I have the perfect co-host today. Not only is he always on the pulse of various cases, he is hilarious. Now, let me ask you guys this about these extremely useless, worthless cease and desist letters that went out. Some people just got text messages. What are we, 12? Seems to me that old Sethy Pooh's attorney, or Seth the Saint, his attorney didn't really do the due diligence and didn't realize that Seth not only raised money on these channels, but he voluntarily went on. And so when they are calling out his behavior, it doesn't work that way. Woo! Tell you what, Seth has made 222, the number 2, big mistakes in his life. One was not taking custody of Sebastian. Because I do believe if he had Sebastian wouldn't be missing. I really do. Think something was going on in that house. And boy, if Katie and Chris didn't look like a sack full of assholes, and now Tony and Seth knew how to turn the shade right to them. Another mistake Seth has made, of course, this is in my opinion. No need to send me a cease and desist because it won't change my opinion. You brought Tony in. Tony is not there for you. Tony is not there for Sebastian. Tony is there for Tony. Without further ado, let's bring up our very special co-host. He is a great friend, and again, he is hilarious, and he knows what he's talking about. He might be a little rough around the edges for a few of you, but you know what? Hell, it's Monday. We have the rest of the week to get over it. Before I bring him up, though, we have a lot of new names in here. Take a second to tell everyone hello, welcome your neighbor, and please hit that like. I didn't realize it helps so much. Okay, I've already seen a few comments in here, people going, well, aren't these content creators making money off Sebastian? Then send the cease and desist to YouTube. YouTube is a $28 billion company. YouTube gets a cut of everything. I mean everything. All the Facebook groups, there's advertising in there. Oh, Zuckerberg, he's getting paid. X, Reddit, Instagram. Don't get me going on old TikTok. You need to really see the big picture. Nobody gets to sue somebody for their paycheck. They have to have a really good argument, a really good one. And I'm going to say it again without further ado. Here is the one and only. Damn it, he lost the link. Son of a bitch. All right, well, he's getting reconnected. Let's go to the comments because you guys had a lot to say over the weekend. All right, Terry Haynes said the family has guilty knowledge. They put their dirty laundry out for everyone to hear. They got on platforms and acted like fools. I pray Sebastian is safe and away, and when he comes back, gets away from all of these family members. I think we can all agree with that. What we have seen over the last few months, not overly impressed. And if you heard me in the beginning of the case, even when Seth gave us all the middle finger and told us all to F off, I was still defending him. And I'm going to be quite honest. I don't care what money he's gotten. I don't care. That's between him and the people that have sent him money and whatever he wants to do with it. That's how it goes in this country. You let go of a dollar bill, you've let go of it. Amanda B. loves sweet tea. Woo! She said, so the same creators who have shared his GoFundMe and Cash App, and one even doing blip boards, are now getting cease and desist letters. That's probably the most foul thing I've heard. Now, by now, the attorney has been hearing from people. I knew this would happen. This is one of many posts going around. This one's anonymous member. I picked this one out specifically, so I didn't have anyone's name up here. Here we go. I reported Seth Rogers' attorney, Tara, to the Tennessee Board of Professional Responsibility. She is harassing people with cease and desist letters. Report her. Woo, then she's got the way to do it and everything. You ought to see all the people underneath the post. I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. Thank you for this information. I'm on it right now. Now, with the amount of reporting that will be done, and no, I am not asking anyone to do that. No, no, no. With the amount of people that are doing this, she is sure to get a letter from the Tennessee bar. Now, before I lose him again, let's bring up our co-host. Big round of applause for John Davis True Crime. Well, my friend, all these years, and we're finally getting to do a panel together. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm pumped.
I know. Listen to that. I'm pumped. Before the show, he said he's still got a lot of fury left in his belly from other things he was talking about this morning. Now, picking up with what's on the screen, what do you think about these people that are reporting the attorney to the Tennessee bar?
I'm just confused by it all. I was. Is she responsible for all of? Is she the same lawyer for the grandma too, to JLR?
That I do not know. I don't know if Robin Rogers has her own attorney. I did not see that letter, but everybody else got one from this attorney. And this is the one that people are reporting to the Tennessee State Bar, which I'm sitting here going, don't. Leave it alone. It's not going to take her time to figure out that Seth voluntarily went on these panels. These panels, these creators, as people call it, he
Do you think she jumped the gun doing it before she realized the situation, maybe?
100%. I think somebody in that office, because let's face it, a lot of attorneys don't do their own damn work. They got a paralegal, they've got someone in there doing it. And so they're
Right.
like, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Your son is missing. There's an Amber Alert. They have no business doing this. They have no business. And so they get all gung-ho, virtue signaling. Then they're getting phone calls on a Monday morning. I guarantee that phone's ringing off the hook, and 1.5 million emails of people saying he went on those panels. They were raising money for him. And what a waste of money to think about this. So you raise money. I'll pick on T-Rev for a minute. Okay. So you raise money on T-Rev. Then you use that money because she is not working pro bono. I get so sick of people saying that she's doing this.
Right.
No. So you take that money that you raised on T-Rev to pay this attorney's office, not even going to say the attorney's office, to tell T-Rev to STFU. Only in America.
See, that seems like such a waste of his money to me.
Me too.
I mean, he got the private eyes and stuff pro bono and everything else. I'd be surprised if maybe this lawyer isn't pro bono, to be honest, because he gets by without paying for stuff. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cases could use private eyes. I tell you that.
Oh, you
He
got
had
that right.
two.
He did, and he had others that volunteered. We know, the huge spectacle that was made when he told the two PIs, to get lost.
Right.
And we did the show, and I did a show that says, okay, so the PR manager is in, which I don't know your opinion of Tony, but whatever he did last night online was just damn nasty. I tagged you in it. Nobody wants to see some old man's peen.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, it appeared he was taking a selfie, like a nude selfie of himself.
No.
I'll probably get pulled from YouTube for even repeating that.
No.
So the PR's in and the PIs are out. Now, let me tell you, there is an active Amber Alert. You can't stop these people from searching.
Right.
You can't, nor do you want to. What do you think they're going to do? They're out there walking around. Mosquitoes, chiggers, ticks, you name it. And they get a letter. Could you imagine how confusing that would be?
It's odd. It's odd. It's all odd to me because I've always said if I'm trying to look at it from his side, I wouldn't be so thin-skinned about it. I would just be happy as hell. All these people were talking about my son. I wouldn't care if they were bashing me the whole time as long as his picture was getting shown and he was getting brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Any publicity is good publicity for Sebastian's case, in my opinion. I definitely wouldn't go to sending cease and desist letters on anyone, and I wouldn't be copywriting any of his videos or none of that either. I'd want it to be shared.
It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't work that way under fair use anyhow. Okay, someone in chat said that his mother has her own attorney. Okay, so that's separate. And that was focused on JLR giving his opinion, saying that she shouldn't have kept anything secret. And I'm paraphrasing, this isn't his exact words. Shouldn't have kept any secrets regarding anything Sebastian told her about the way he was being treated. Now, I'm sure you have noticed it as well, that what really gets her heated is when the focus goes towards her son. Fair enough. I would be the same way.
Yeah, I agree with JLR though. I don't think she should have kept that secret either.
No, she said we can. He told me to keep it between us. Now, why would you?
Unless unless the secret was damning for Seth, I don't know why you would, to be
Mhm.
honest.
I don't understand it either. I
Why
don't.
would you keep it? Why would she keep it secret if it was Chris? We know she don't have any trouble throwing him under the bus.
No, but then when it got real hot in the kitchen, if you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's when she called TBI. But she's taken this post down. I've got it saved somewhere, where she said they have talked to Chris and Katie multiple times. You guys need to keep it about Sebastian. Now, you have followed quite a few cases in your life. I know
Mm-hmm.
we here on this channel have. Have you ever witnessed a trial or the outcome of a trial where they only talk about the crime as if anyone else involved doesn't matter? Oh, they go through history, present, how they met, how they came across each other. Character is definitely brought up,
Right.
particularly for the defense. Let's just say Katie did something. Okay, we know something happened in that house, whether he walked out, crawled out, I don't know. So let's just say they discover foul play. I'm not saying that they will. Katie goes to trial. Her attorney is going to bring up her relationship with Seth. Her attorney is going to
Oh
bring up a
yeah.
lot of stuff. And good luck saying we should keep it about Sebastian. It don't work that way.
I'm surprised the relationship between him and her isn't talked about more because I find it shocking the age difference and the age of Katie.
Well, I find it shocking. I mean, if they were together, let's say right now, and Sebastian was 5, I wouldn't think anything of the age difference. But knowing the backstory of what she went through, how they met, the age she was, because he's sitting there running his mouth saying a 13-year-old shouldn't be hanging around an 8-year-old. And what happened to Sebastian was beyond wrong. That 13-year-old should have been in juvenile hall. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened there, but he forgets what he had going on with Katie. And anyone that says, oh, I don't think they did anything until she was like 18. Where
That's
the.
a that's a YouTube video. 22, 24, and 14, whatever the ages were. That's a YouTube video. People do those and bust people for going and seeing people that age difference.
Mhm.
I mean, I think it's wild, and it I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old.
Well, I don't think I'll ever be too old to say it's okay for a 12, 13, 14-year-old to be with a 20 something.
It's not, is it?
It's gross and it's
Okay.
illegal AF. Now, we know that she had no parental, anyone checking on her. She was removed from her family.
Yeah.
And why he brought that up and had to tell her backstory, I don't know, because it blew up in his face, because then people are seeing her a different way, and they're forgetting that Sebastian was home alone with her, and now they're feeling really sorry for her. He should have kept his mouth shut about all that. But there's an excuse for everything. I mean, there's an excuse for everything. Oh, well, he just did that because Chris was holding it over his head. Who's the adult here? John, who's the adult here?
To be honest, I feel like Seth is extremely intimidated by Chris.
I do too. 100%. And Katie.
I feel like that little conversation there, right after it, he comes out and says that they're going to work together and everybody else can F off and all that. I feel like Chris checked him right there. He told him, shut up, quit bringing my name up, blah, blah, blah. Here's how it's going to be. Seth come out and give his speech and then realized, Chris ain't going to do shit for him. Now he's turned back on him again, is what the situation seems like to me.
Well, I know when we did a show on here and we were talking about, how long is this kumbaya going to last? Hell, it didn't make it past the next afternoon, and they were back at each other's throats. You have a missing child. When we were at CrimeCon, we saw the Petito family. And we've seen this in other situations where they're like, bygones be bygones. I messed up, you messed up, but by God, we have a child missing. Why are we not seeing this here?
Right.
I mean, it's detrimental to Sebastian that I'm going to say these two. I don't care about old Chrissy Poo. He's a stepdad, never wanted Sebastian around anyway, always had issues with him. You can't tell me any different. Too many people that don't really know each other have said the same damn thing. Right. But between Mama Proudfeet and Seth, why don't they come together for their son?
See, I think the divide between them two's bigger than we realize. I think whatever happened when they split up and all that, I think it's very, I don't know. I get a weird vibe between them, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Avi said Katie totally avoids Seth. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
She's made that clear. Yeah, she has made that clear. And she was on another panel and she said, I wouldn't wish this upon anybody, even Seth. Now, unpack that statement. Sebastian's father, his own father, I wouldn't wish this upon anybody, even Seth. That is beyond a loaded sentence.
I don't even know what to think of that. It shows that she considers him like the worst person on earth, pretty much, right?
Yeah. She had a post on Facebook. Now, she's made everything private now, and I'll find it. This was years ago, and it was like in her comments, something about Seth, and she said, I refuse to be in a room alone with him. And she's talking about Seth.
Well, you seen what she swore under oath to in those papers, She swore under oath to that stuff. And, regardless of who's responsible for Sebastian, history is history. To me, it looks like there was definitely some incidents between them that were uncomfortable. What do you think about in the papers where she says he would walk in the room and just get naked for no reason?
Well, I didn't want to picture it, so I tried to, just scroll through that because I was like,
but think about that. Think about that. Did she just make that up out of anything she could have said about him, or did that happen? Do you believe?
Or threat of going to jail?
Perjury,
under perjury. At the time, she was in the military, and a court-martial's a little bit different than getting your hand swatted by civilian
You're
courts.
getting it twice. You're going to get it by the public, and then you're going to get it by the military for lying.
I think it happened, and this is not a popular thing to say. Get ready to see the comments, not in here, because in here everyone's cool and we're adults and we can have conversations. But when someone catches it on the replay, they're not going to like this. I believe the women that have come out in the last few months that just met Seth and are out there to search and got, I'm just going to say, a really creepy feeling from him.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, because there's more than one of those, right?
Yeah, I don't believe all these women are carrying around a smoke machine and all buddied up together and said, hey, let's make up this horrible lie about this man that's missing his son. Why is everybody lying about Seth? Or everybody's lying about Katie? Or everybody's lying about Chris? Why? Because people come unglued, but especially about Seth. Why is
that? The way I see it is, if you're going to put yourself out there on social media, don't come at me for commenting about what I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all you got to do. If he wasn't out here doing this stuff, we wouldn't have it to talk about. So I don't get why people get so upset when you talk about it.
If something upsets me, call me stupid, call me simple, I don't listen to it. To be quite honest, I don't even put my 2 cents in. I just don't. I just really don't. You know, like when you see one of those long threads and you can tell it's a dumpster fire and they're all fighting, you know, Team Proud Feet, Team Seth, they're just going, it's like, have fun. I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah, you're not changing somebody's mind that's that entrenched in it, you know.
But you know as well as I do from the, you know, different cases that the people that have their mind made up and can't change anyone else's mind are just, they're just going to trickle away. And you can already see the traffic going way down in Sebastian's case because law enforcement is not telling they're not doing any updates. And well, hell, it could be because it's summertime. I don't know. Dawn, Grandma of 3, thank you for the super sticker. She said, Brooks, JLR did an interview with the neighbor, but it's a different neighbor than the one I talked to. And I still haven't gone through it because, well, I was super busy this weekend. Well, look who just came in. Lip Lock no more. I would love to know what you think about this case, Lip Lock. Miss you, girlfriend. And again, I'm so excited. Been wanting to do this for years, having John Davis True Crime. If anybody can please drop his link in here, sub up. All right, so I'm again asking your opinion. Why do people lose their minds when you're just talking about what Seth did, what Seth said, what Tony said? Why?
I don't know. Nobody, it's like everybody says, well, how could you say that about the dad who's got a missing kid? And I'm like, I feel for him as in the situation. I have a lot of sympathy for Seth that his son's missing. I couldn't imagine it. Can't imagine what he's going through. But on the other hand, he does some wild shit that we all see, and I don't think that it's bad to comment on that,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, I mean, I don't think that gives him anonymity from criticism because his son's missing. And there's a lot of stuff that's starting to look fishy as hell. A lot.
Did you happen to hear JLR's interview last night with the neighbor?
I watched like an hour. I fast forwarded like an hour of it, so I got a little bit.
I still believe it was flashlights in the back. I think what Nick Barris reported months ago, I think that's the reason that officer, when he was sitting with him in that interview, was skating right around that. I still believe they're flashlights. I am.
Yes, it's leaked evidence. I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
That the woman that he talked to, JLR talked to, that came up, and she said she
Uh-oh, you're
didn't
cut.
line up with the trash can, with the trash.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I know when my trash picks up. Roughly, I don't know it to the minute. But when you have all these neighbors going, our trash doesn't pick up at that time. What are you talking about? That couldn't have been. That couldn't have been trash lights. You know?
It's not what it looks like to me. It really ain't. I thought that was. I really think that is something, because what's going on at 3 o'clock a.m. in that kind of neighborhood on a Sunday morning that's not involved with the kid that's disappeared the next day.
And I don't want to, talk out of turn because I haven't seen it all. So I don't want to say, the wrong thing. And it's like, saying, that's not what she said. That's not what she said. I did hear something about an Uber that someone's camera picked up. Did you hear anything about the Uber? I'm probably already, stepping in it.
No,
Okay. Well,
no. She talked. She all I heard was she talked about an incident where Proudfoot had kind of gotten heated about people still on his property or something, but it was secondhand information. A lot of the stuff she was talking about is stuff she had heard from other neighbors and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know.
and people are going to attack the neighbor. They're going to say it's all hearsay. They're just trying to
Right,
make him look bad. I know, a couple of neighbors I've spoke with. I know, some other creators that I've spoken to some. Everybody has pretty much the same story, whether it's
right,
their dealing with the Proud Feet home or something they've heard. And it all, I don't think they had a neighborhood meeting and all got together and said, let's do this. Let's make it worse on this family that has a missing child.
right. She kind of talked about. I think she said there was video of Katie coming in or out of the neighborhood, and she seemed baffled that Katie would go check the schools for some reason. She they talked about pretty much everything. It was a long interview.
Well, I thought it was odd myself that she would go and check the school. I mean, of all places, check around your house, check your yard. Was he sleeping in the garage that night or was he in the bedroom? I mean,
I
where?
think I think it depends on the order she did them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I could see it evolving to checking the route to school. If she had checked everything there was, and that was, where his next, because like they say, I hear a lot about routine. They like staying in the same routine. So maybe her thinking was he had went to school. I guess trying
Yeah.
to play devil's advocate.
But I mean, and I understand, when, the police are saying get back home in case he comes back home, that actually makes sense to me. I'm not going to drag her for that because they're like, oh,
Right,
she'll leave for 10 minutes. Well, I mean, he's 15 years old. If they had an argument the night before, or she heard him on the phone with Chrissy Poo having a big old throwdown argument, and he's like, screw this, I'm going to get out of here, 26 degrees and barefoot, but anyhow, I'll play along. He would come back home. He knows where he gets his food. He knows where he gets his water.
right,
And if he truly just wanted to get out, ran away, he speaks, he communicates, and multiple people that know Sebastian have said he knows Seth's number by heart. And I can talk about all the crazy shit Seth has done in the last month. And I mean, it is bonkers. But if his son called him and said, I left the house, come get me, he would have done it.
Yes.
And yeah, whether it's because he loves his son so much or just another, this happened, under Katie's watch, because he has said that before. Yet again, something else has happened under Katie's watch, which again, like I said, two big mistakes, Seth. Two. I'm not even going to talk about your relationship, which I hate to even say that with Katie. But when it was offered, you should have taken custody of of Sebastian. And you should have never brought Tony Mathis around. You should have never, ever. And this sending cease and desist, you know what? He's going to be in a world of hurt if all of those creators that raise money for him counteract and say, send me the money back. My people don't want to support you anymore. Send it back. Now think about that. We know that money's as good as gone. And he's not working right now. Supposedly he's on disability. It's up to us to keep Seth food and watered while he's taking care of his shoulder. How many other people are going to help him right now? You know how many other people on this planet are missing their children? We talk about Michael Vaughn a lot on this channel.
Yeah.
A lot. That little boy was abducted. They have 4 suspects. This family's not asking for anything. He's already had PTO time donated to him by his coworkers. Now we're out of that time. They're not going to give him any more. They've got their own vacations and stuff to go on. And you have all these people going, well, he's not working. You should be helping him. If these creators are making money off Sebastian, they should be giving it to him so he can stay home. What?
Yeah. Well, he's got that figured out, though. You didn't know? You ain't heard, have you? Soon he's going to have members, and that's the only person he's going to share updates with.
Oh, I did hear that. Yep. I heard that him and Tony are going to have a
But
YouTube channel. They're going to sell memberships, and everybody has to go to them to hear updates. Well, they
but
don't have updates because they're not part of the investigation. Even though Seth has said he's running the investigation, could you imagine law enforcement when they heard that? They probably pissed themselves laughing.
wow.
They probably pissed themselves laughing. They're like, what? Then he said, I'm running this operation. No. And
Well,
law
I
enforcement
think it's
isn't
funny
going to talk to him.
that him and Tony's big beef was that they weren't getting updates, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, law enforcement isn't telling him what's going on. Do you know why? Because you, my friend, are a loose cannon.
Yes.
I'm sitting all the way over here in Northeast Oklahoma. I can smell the stench from here.
But but the members are going to be paying for updates he's getting on the case, but his biggest issue is he don't get updated.
Okay, make that make sense. Both him and Tony are complaining that law enforcement will not do another press conference, that they won't tell Seth what's going on. Supposedly, they only talk to Katie. Doubt it, but anyway. But now, if you want to know what's going on with the case, you got to go to their channel. Now, what the hell is going on?
That's wild, ain't it?
How does it make any sense, John?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you want, I would recommend going to Nick Barris before I would ever recommend going to Tony or Seth.
Well, and the thing is, he does talk to them. And he'll say, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? Because when they did one of their TikToks, Tony did, law enforcement said, that's garbage. And here I am going, read the room, Tony. Read the room, Seth. You just had the people that are investigating Sebastian's disappearance saying that what you're putting out is garbage.
Yeah.
And now we have a shadow of Tony's pee-pee. Who needed to see that? I do think he needs to go to the doctor and maybe have a prostate exam, because it looks like something, and not the important part, is a little swollen. Looks, could be the shadow, could have been him trying to take the picture. I don't know. But if that was hanging off of my husband, we'd be at the doctor. Okay?
It ain't bent carrot, is it?
Oh, I'll tell you what. Whew, it's a stumpy mushroom with a big old bag under it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I tagged you in it, John. You're gonna have you a glass of wine or something before you check that.
Yeah, I ain't looking at
have
that.
old DT driver at the doctor so quick, and I'd say, well, I got something going on here.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, and I don't even have one of those things. It made me hurt. My God, Snow said, show it, Brooks. It's in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. Yeah. Yeah, you guys can go check it out. All right, we're going to go through a little bit of this, John. This is where Seth was on our friend Brittany's channel the other night explaining the cease and desist. People are big mad at Brittany. Now, you and I both know that when someone grabs the link, we don't have a crystal ball. Only a few channels have those things. I'm not as cool as them. You don't really know what people are going to say, particularly when it's someone involved with the case. So, I mean, I don't understand why anyone would be mad at Brittany. They're like, she just ruined the cease and desist. Well, she didn't. Seth spoke for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through a little bit of this. Anywhere you want me to pause it, let me know.
Do you want to leave your camera on before I put you on panel?
Okay,
You want to turn it off?
I'll be quiet.
All right, hold on. I can't hear you. Let me put you up. Hold on. Let me let him turn his camera off. It is in.
Okay, while she's going through that, I don't know if you heard about this, John. I think you were tagged in it in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. A woman reached out to me and a few other people. And if you have an old school Radio Shack radio and you put it on AM, Sebastian will talk to you, according to this woman.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why not think of that?
I know. Now, I did ask her because she emailed me and I said, does it have to be like the battery operated one or a plug-in? She's like, oh, plug-in. I've had it for years and it was in my garage. So you just plug it in. I'm like, and then you talk to Sebastian? She goes, well, yeah.
Will any AM device work, or does it got to be Radio Shack?
It's got to be Radio Shack. I asked that as well.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
They went out of business. That's going to make it hard.
I know. What are we going to do? So now that that's floating around, I guarantee eBay is blowing up. People buying those damn Radio Shack radios. Yep, Mermaid said, okay, this is what she said. That this lady with this Radio Shack radio said that Sebastian kept saying, open the door, I can't get in.
How convenient.
You know what? I used to say I've heard it all, but I know I'm going to hear more. Because there were some goofy ass people out there, John. I was really hoping you got that comment instead of me, because I could just imagine your face if someone told you they're talking to Sebastian through a damn Radio Shack radio. It's like a 1982 style, with like the fabric speaker.
That's just crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he was saying?
According to her. I think she told me the AM station too. It's in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Have you listened to AM
There's a lot of
radio
that.
lately, JD?
I have back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Weather, and they're selling windows on there. That's about it. I didn't think that somebody could communicate with me through it. I'm like, what kind of welfare poltergeist is this?
No shit, that's some low budget
Yeah.
effects, ain't it?
I know. What the hell is going on here? All right. So here Seth is getting situated.
Seth's
Panel
coming.
real quick.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, listen, I promise you here, no one's going to disrespect
I'm just going to
you.
make this quick because
Okay.
it's 11 o'clock at night. I've been busy all day.
Okay.
And I got an early morning. I've got searchers coming in again next week. Got places to go. Got to get what little sleep I can.
I understand.
I sent out cease and desist. These people are nasty.
Oh, they are.
And no parent of a missing child should ever have to sit there and listen to the people slander him and I've listened to people call my son a sexual offender. I've listened.
Who has said that? I really want to know. Because the people that have gotten these, I don't know anything about that.
No.
Unless they were repeating what his own stepfather was trying to put out there. Why not send one to him? Tell him when you go on panels, you STFU about my son.
Can I ask you real quick, why is he so mad at JLR specifically? What did he do?
Well, in my opinion, I think some people have gotten just a little too close to the fire.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine it would be very uncomfortable because you're talking about your own life here. People are, digging through your own life. But
Right.
that's not good enough to make someone shut up in America where we have free speech. Now, you can get sued for your free speech. You can get canceled, the whole 9 yards, but you can keep running your damn mouth unless you're just flat out lying. Now, what is this attorney going to do with this mess now?
I don't see much of a future for the case.
I mean, him and JLR have pictures together where they were out searching. Him and T-Rev were thick as thieves until he realized that 21-year-old girl wasn't into him and liked T-Rev. You see where the problem was there? And people are like, well, she was at his house. A lot of people have been at his house. What's that mean?
Right. Is that the
Listen to
one
people
that was...
call me.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Are you talking about the girl? There was the thing where they said that both of them were dating her? Or he had said he was dating her?
Yeah, something like that. It's like, look, you're missing your son. This is not time to tag ass. You're looking for your son.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the time to be spitting game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, we have a crazy, age gap. And I'm going to get it from people. Well, I'm 45 and my husband's 65. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I know, but you weren't 5 and he was 25 when you got together.
That's the issue to me. Yes. Yes. I am 8 years older than Brandy. I met Brandy when she was 19 on a blind date that I didn't set up, just so everybody knows. I find it odd to be talking to a 12-year-old girl as a grown man in any fashion whatsoever, outside of a relative. That's
Yeah,
odd to me, and I will stand by that.
outside of your own child, like you said, a relative, kid in
Yes,
the neighborhood. But I
yes,
mean, to have any sort of feeling like that is just not natural. Now, he was super upset with something that was conveyed from his mother to another creator because, when Seth was on one of these channels, doesn't matter who it was, and he talked about all these abortions that Katie had.
right.
And of course, people are like, well, what in the world's going on? You know, of course, they're going to ask, well, hell, they were before Sebastian was born, according to his mother. This is their words, not mine.
So,
Okay, so go ahead.
how old was Katie when Sebastian was born?
19.
Okay. So there was abortions before she was 19.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's according to his mother. Now, there's a lot of control that goes on, obviously, with Chris Proudfoot. I see it. But Seth is really the same way. He even tries to control his own mother. This is something AB shared, and it was shared again by Crime, and More Crime with Jinkies. His grandma sent this to JLR. She said, I'm sorry I missed you. I've been following you on YouTube. I appreciate that you're keeping it real. I only go on channels with my son's approval and if he has already spoken out with them. I think you need to look into Katie's background. She made a lot of false accusations against my son that ended up found invalid. I was Sebastian's confidant. He spoke to me at least twice a month and sometimes more. I'm so sick of hearing Christopher Proudfoot's voice. If he wasn't there, why is he commenting? He is demanding, belligerent, narcissistic, materialistic, and a bully. I don't think he lets her talk because I think he's afraid she'll say something that she shouldn't. If you let me know what time your post is going to be in the morning, I will try to be in the room. Just let me know. I can talk to you off the record, but until Seth says otherwise, it has to be off the record. Thanks for contacting me. Who gets to tell Grandma who they can and can't talk to?
That's weird.
Who gets to tell Grandma what they can and can't do? She'd had it one day. She called TBI and made a whole post about what they told her. An agent just told her a few things. Nothing groundbreaking. Nothing about what they're doing with the case.
Right.
Tony and Seth go on Pascal to say she lost her freaking mind. She's lost her mind. She's lost her mind. Good. My mom's not alive, but I can tell you something right now. If she was, if I try to tell her who she could and couldn't talk to, shit. Bar the door.
She'd run to that person just to get me.
Mm-hmm. Telling is
Yeah.
you can only talk to people if I say so. Now we can see the relationship between Seth and his mom. This is all relevant to Sebastian. Family secrets. This goes through me. This goes through him. Katie won't talk to me. And Sebastian is missing. We have a real dark history and a lot of stuff going on. And it's horrible, John.
Yeah.
Be one.
Yep.
All right. I didn't have any relations with Sebastian's mother until she was way after the age of 18.
Thank
People
you.
need to get off their high horse
Agreed.
because
Okay, so now he's saying no relations with Katie till after she was 18. They were just friends from the age of 12 to 18. Okay, but then his mother says something different. I don't know. To me, it's creepy weird either way. You've known her since she was a girl, and now she's 18, and you're
There's a
suddenly.
term. There's a term that describes something like that.
It's called grooming.
That's it.
That's what it's called. You know, you
Well,
befriend a 12, 13-year-old girl or boy, and I don't believe it. Sorry. Why would the grandma lie?
you know, in my early 20s, I can honestly say well, I mean, I'm not bragging, but I was in the bar and doing stuff like that. I don't remember socializing with any middle schoolers
Mm-mm.
for any reason. And that's what the situation would have been. What are you going to do this weekend? Oh, I'm going to watch Barney and braid hair. What are you going to do? I'm going to the club. What do you got in common? You know, come on, it's weird.
And I'm going to say this because, I mean, Trevor has said it on his own. That's not what Seth told Trevor at all. Not T-Rev, but Trevor Lee.
What he told Trevor?
Before 18.
I'm sure.
And Trevor's not going to lie. No. But everybody lies, except for these three. Hell, even they got grandma being a liar. They all lie. And when the truth slaps people in the face and they know there's no defending it, they throw their hands up and say, I'm only here for Sebastian. This has nothing to do with Sebastian. I'm just here for Sebastian. It all has to do with Sebastian.
I'll tell you right now, I don't have to do anything and God will knock you down. But I sent cease and desist to make sure that there is proof in the legal system that I am not connected to these people.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way, I'm not sitting there and they can sit there and say whatever they want. Defamation is pretty easy when someone's sitting there for 6 hours on a live panel, letting people talk massive amounts of crap about me and accuse me of everything from putting a nail into Jesus Christ on a cross or pushing the red button for Biden. You know?
The hell is he talking about? Me.
Did you hear what he said?
Go ahead. I'm wanting your take.
He said he was mad because people were letting other people talk about him. You can't control what other people say, and you can't get mad at people for something they didn't do. You know, that's wild.
Yep.
That's his issue. It sounds like his issue is that somebody didn't jump in and stand up for him in a chat or something.
Well, I'm going to read one of the cease and desists. I'm not going to say which one of the creators it went to, because I don't want a dumpster fire in here going, I don't like that person anyway. Okay, this says, notice to cease and desist. Please be advised that I represent Mr. Seth Rogers. Please, without a comma, let this letter serve as formal notice to cease and desist any and all activity of dissemination, wrong word, of information pertaining to Sebastian Rogers and or Seth Rogers. So talk all the shit you want about Katie and Chris, okay?
Yes.
But you can't talk about Sebastian or Seth. Can't say that I blame him, but I would only put my name and my child's name in there too. Any and all information surrounding the disappearance and efforts to locate Sebastian Rogers. My client has been informed you are engaging in such behavior without his express written or oral consent. He had been on their panels. He received money from these people. Okay.
Wow.
You do not have consent or authority from Seth Rogers to use his or Sebastian Rogers' name, likeness, or any information acquired by you or your agents. You got agents, John? You or your agents. Please note that all activities regarding the dissemination of said information will be reported to the proper authorities if required by law. Continued activities, as previously stated, will result in Mr. Rogers exploring any and all legal remedies to which he is entitled. I don't know what I'm more confused about, the word entitled, dissemination, agents. I love that. You or your agents. I don't know. I'm going to put you on the spot. You're in the hot seat, John. What would you do if you got this letter?
I don't know. To be honest, I would probably send him some sort of meme back as a reply after putting some well thought out time and effort into it. I'm pretty petty.
But where in this letter does it even mention defamation? A lot of times attorneys will do their due diligence and they will actually say, on this date, at this timestamp or whatever, you said this about my client. Right. That is defamation. Do you remember Critical K that used to be around?
Yes.
Okay. She got one of these from Ray Andrecchio. She said all kinds of things about her and the death of her son. Anyhow, well, she stepped it up a notch and kept doing the same thing she had been warned about. Timestamps, the whole 9 yards. So they served YouTube with the cease and desist, and she didn't stop what she was doing. Well, they shut down her channel, shut down the next channel. Then here comes the lawsuit. I think they got $325,000 judgment against her. That attaches to anything in her name, her car, her house, the whole 9 yards. So that attorney knows what he's doing, right?
Right.
This one, there's nothing in there about defamation at all. He's been on their panels. They're talking about what he has said. So I guess we'll see what happens next week, because everything with Seth is next week.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, I get him being upset, I guess,
Sure.
to a certain extent, right? But of all the shit you've got, the situation you're in, is that really something you're going to put a lot of effort into? I mean, he's on this panel talking about he's been going all day 24/7. Well, I'd start prioritizing better. And I definitely, if he's paying for a lawyer for this, spend my money more wisely, maybe put it in a reward fund for Sebastian.
That's been a big, big question. With all this money coming in, we've heard there's going to be a trust fund. We've heard the reward fund's going to be done this way. Still nothing. Wouldn't that be more important than I mean, come on. Your son is missing.
I'm amazed now at like how many channels he's actually been on.
Mm-hmm.
My priority is, if my son was missing, I do not see how he sees so much advantage into being on all these YouTubers' channels all the time. I really don't.
I can only speak for myself. I mean, I know what panic I went through when I lost my son at the grocery store. My oldest son, my youngest son got away from me at the zoo. I couldn't imagine thinking about anything else except, and this is like for a short time.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine my energy going anywhere else except my child. Call me whatever you want. Call me whatever you want.
Yep.
Because there are 4 huge agencies that are investigating. You have the Secret Service, TBI, FBI, and then, well, you have the local, office there. And it's like the normalizing, I don't understand. I think the Secret Service is involved because they took the game system Sebastian had. And Seth's just like, his room's empty. And I'm like, no, there's a bed there. They didn't take the dresser. His clothes are there. What are you worried about the game box for?
I heard him talking about wanting that stuff back real bad the other day, and he played that into talking about how he's still a suspect and he hasn't been cleared.
Mhm.
And I mean, is he really a suspect to anybody? I don't think so. I don't know why he keeps bringing that up.
He keeps bringing it up, but nobody else is. I believe he has an airtight alibi. I don't believe that Seth is so gangster that he could set this up. Are you kidding me? The guy has trouble pulling up his damn pants when he's standing there talking to Chris. I've seen his ass crack more than I've seen my husband's.
Have you noticed he does that though?
Mm-hmm.
He mentions a lot about how he hasn't been cleared and he's a suspect. And I'm like, in whose eyes, I don't think the police have you in there constantly under the spotlight drilling you. So why do you keep making that point? I don't get that.
Yeah. And
He does
and
it a lot.
and that's actually common in a case that actually is new. Some people say, oh, it's getting cold, it's gone on for too long. Hey, there's cases that have gone on, my goodness, 14, 15, 20 years. This is a fresh case. This is a fresh wound. And so no, they have not gone through everything yet. Like they said, we're going back to the beginning. We're looking at everything. And I have a feeling, not because they talk to me, I'm not as important as Lisa K. Ruitz, to where law enforcement will whisper in my ear. Anyone that believes that, I've got a bridge for sale.
Yes, she's full of shit.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Say it again. Can someone clip that for me?
My bad.
No, I love it. I have a feeling that they're still going through things, and particularly that game box. There was a case where a kid was communicating through one of the game systems. It took months to go through all that code. Months.
I remember that. He seems like though he wants it back bad, and I'm like, I don't know. I thought that was odd.
But in that same show, he was talking about the game system. And of course, people, for some reason, they try to talk for Seth.
Right.
Seth can talk on his own. They're like, it's sentimental to him. And I'm like, hold on. This isn't Sebastian's outfit that they brought him home from the hospital in. It's a damn game box. No. Why does he want it back so bad?
Right.
What's he want it back so bad?
Did you hear the weird way he explained the video game and showing Sebastian what a beatdown was?
Yeah, through Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
That was the wildest thing I've ever seen. I was thinking about it the other day. I catch myself every time I listen to Seth talk, I catch myself thinking, now what was his alibi? What was his alibi? But he is alibied out, but I swear he makes himself look suspicious. The stuff he says.
Does he want to look suspicious? I actually posted that somewhere, and you can just imagine the dog pile I got. I'm like, does he want to look suspicious? Because he's making himself look suspicious.
Oh man, he does to me. The more like at the very beginning, I thought he was just some random Joe, ever run of mill day guy. The more I see him come out and talk and stuff, the shadier he looks to me. I'm sorry, it just keeps building up.
Mm-hmm.
when he was talking about the memberships the other night, and that's the only way you're gonna get updates is to be members of his YouTube channel. And I was thinking that's so far from, in the very beginning, search for Sebastian, this, that. Now it seems like you're at the other end of the scale. It seems like it's more about getting paid. I swear, that's the feeling I get.
It's weird. It's beyond weird. Yeah, it's beyond weird. And him turning on these YouTubers, it's personal for him. It's not about Sebastian. It's personal for him, as it appears. Now, I don't know how many children you have, what their ages are, don't need to know. But he also said in that same show on another channel, and no, I'm not going to hunt it down and give it to anyone. You can find it yourself. He said that he, to help Sebastian grow up, if you will, find his manhood, was giving girls Sebastian's phone number, wanting him to talk to him. Now, that I think we all know that that's just something that people grow into on their own.
He was giving girls Sebastian's phone number.
Yep, according to him. So he would, talk to the opposite sex. That is something that we all grow into.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be concerned about that at Sebastian's age, I don't think. And I definitely don't think I would be wingman in my 15-year-old.
Well, and most of us with kids, we kind of want them to stay away from the opposite sex.
Yes.
As
I'm in
long
no hurry.
as possible.
Yeah.
And
That's exactly right.
And what I want to know, I mean, of course, he had Sebastian's phone number. He wasn't getting the girls' phone numbers. But if I told my husband, say we're at Mazzio's Pizza, and I'm like, hey, there's a group of girls over there. Go over there and give them one of the boys' phone numbers. Maybe one of them will call. Could you imagine? First of all, Greg would look at me and say, what's in that beer? What do you think? I'm not going to talk to those kids.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to those girls.
It's strange, man. A lot of this is weird. It has a weird vibe to it. I'm starting to believe the conspiracy theorists that think they're all in it together and it's all about getting paid.
Uh-huh.
Not really, but it puts it in the back of your mind sometimes, all this oddness. Don't it?
It does. And I mean, I'm not going to argue with someone who's talking about their own life. I'm not. That's what they said. That's what they said was going on. I'm not going to argue with them. This is their life. It's like, if John Davis says, hey, my birthday is February 31st. I might say, hey, John, there's only, 28 days in February, but I'm not going to argue with him. That's what John said.
Yeah, that's right.
But they honestly want us to get inside of his head and go, I don't think he meant that. I don't think that's what he meant. Well, I can't find it. Well, I'm not here to mess with Seth. It's crazy.
Right.
And any grown man that thinks it's cute to go talk to any child and say, here, call my son up, and then goes on a YouTube and says, yeah, I did that. This was the same interview where he said when Sebastian would come over in the pull-ups, that he would say, no, around here we wear boxers. We don't wear pull-ups around here. Well, Seth, nobody put you in a pull-up, but you didn't need to tell everyone that. But it does matter.
Yeah.
You say whatever you want about me, but when you start talking trash about my son, or you're using pictures of my son and stupid little things for click me bait because you guys want to make money, and when I say you all, I mean everybody who's out there.
Money. Because does he know that we don't just talk about one case?
That's what bothers me the most is
you're cutting out a little bit, John. Did he send one of these to Google? Because there's tons of pictures of Sebastian on Google.
When my YouTube channel comes out and I sit there and I make people pay for a membership to listen to me give updates, I know that I'm going to receive nothing but negative attention about it. Nothing but negative attention, because Lord knows I'm the child's father. I need to make sure I have flyers. I need more yard signs. I need more materials and more resources, and there's not enough.
Absolutely.
There is not enough until my son comes home.
Education is key. It really is. Chai, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. The local media reporters make money. Do they get a cease and desist for a missing child's representation? Yeah. He's talking about using Sebastian's likeness. Well, what are you going to do about it? It's all over Bing, Go, Google. And I don't mean all over, but a simple search, you're going to pull up pictures of Sebastian. 3 months ago, there weren't any. So we see this in every case. This is not new. Every case, then it dies down. And don't get me wrong, there's a few out there that, I mean, they'll milk it. They'll milk it. Hell, they'll have a 7-hour live just off of one Facebook post.
People want to talk about me being at work. That's my personal life. Get over it. You're not going to find out if I'm at work or not. It's none of your business. I've had people infiltrate.
It does matter. He goes, hang on, you're not going to find out if I was at work. Listen, you already said you have an airtight alibi that you were seen on camera. I believe you, Seth. I believe you. He goes, that's my personal life. Well, your son's missing. You're telling me that when the police brought all of you in, however many people they are investigating, however many people they interrogated, you think they didn't ask any of them, well, where were you the night of? Where were you? Tell me about your weekend. Do you think the police are sitting there going, nah, that's not a big deal. Where they went, who they talked to, none of that matters. John Davis, his phone died. Maybe he'll get it charged up. Of course it matters.
My home. I've had people sit there and literally lie and have conversations that you just wouldn't have with a person. Not if you actually had a soul. And to have people come in afterwards and call me on a live chat, and I didn't even know I was live, and start asking me questions about stuff that I had no idea what was going on. That's pretty dirty. All right. And then sit there. I get phone calls from Sumner County and from TBI about everything that's going on. Well, they need to stay in their lane. Don't ask me what I have a civil attorney doing for me. All right. They need to be focused on investigating and finding my son. But every time one of these creators open their mouth, and I say that term very loosely because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are not creators. All they are is, we'll take what this person did and we'll go over it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And I'll tell you right now, I have no respect for them. I don't. But that's my personal opinion. And I don't care if somebody has respect for me or not. I'm looking for my son. And I said, I will dance with the devil and show the devil a few moves in order to find my son. And that means I'll do whatever I need to do within the.
Oh, you're more than dancing with the devil. You've invited a few devils in. You should be working with law enforcement, telling them everything you know. Have we ever heard, this is how Sebastian walks? These are phrases he says. I'm going to dance with the devil and show the devil a few moves. Good. My goodness.
The limits of the law, because me going to jail doesn't help my son.
Right.
But I will never stop looking for him. And anybody that wants to be an obstacle in my way, I feel sorry for them. Because karma's a bitch. And God will knock them down.
You're right about that. I want to clear something up with you while you're here. This
just so you know, I sent 6 people cease and desist. 6, not 50. Okay. Yeah, 6, not 50 like T-Rev is talking about. And I tell you what, anybody that's out here on a YouTube, whether they're a creator or whatever they want to classify themselves at, if they're literally out there spreading Sebastian's case in a positive light, not a negative light. There's enough negativity in this world. People say I start drama. Don't ask me questions that start drama. I'll give you an honest answer. You may not like the fact that I give an honest answer, and other people may not like the fact that I am brutally honest. But it'll even say in one of those declarations that Katie wrote in my divorce that I tell people the truth. And I literally will sit there and state whether it has anything to do with it. And that always used to piss her off. She hated it when I talked about anything that was going on in the house. She was like, that's a random stranger. I've been like, well, I can't talk to you about it. I'm going to talk to a random person that doesn't know anything and bounce the ideas off of them. Because they might have the answer. God may say, this is how you should answer this gentleman. And give me the answer, because God works in mysterious ways. That crazy person that's asking for change out there on the street corner, that person could have an answer. The first places that I hit were homeless encampments. I've been homeless before. Thank you to my ex-wife for making me homeless. Why didn't I get full custody? I was homeless, living in a vehicle. I praised God.
See, there is so much beef between these two. I was homeless because of my ex-wife. I was living in a vehicle. You can't tell me there is not serious resentment between the two of them. Question is, why can't they put it behind them and work as a unit to find Sebastian? Who dislikes who more? Who? It's crazy. And yes, Seth has done a lot of good things. He's brought a lot of awareness out for his son. But that doesn't overshadow the craziness that he has brought. And he sits back and blames everyone else and takes no responsibility for what he's done. And this whole, oh, it's because he was really tired of Chris holding things over his head. Chris was holding the essay over his head. Now, how can Chris hold the essay over his head when Seth wasn't part of the household at the time? It would be the other way around. We know now what he was really holding over his head. Because at the time, people were really, majority of people were very sympathetic to Seth. Very. They were focused on Sebastian. They didn't even take a deep breath to do the math in their age and figure out when Sebastian was born. They were really focused on Sebastian. It's not that way now. Now, Seth, he can turn all this around. I promise he can. Because the internet has a very short memory. I've seen people on here a million times go from hero to zero and back to hero. Now, there's some people that aren't going to let it go, but you don't pay attention to those people.
Every day I got joint custody. Do you think I wanted full custody? Without a doubt. I should have my son living with me right now. But yet I'm still a suspect of my son's disappearance. You guys don't know what kind of effect that has on a person's psyche. To know that I'm getting phone calls from law enforcement about me sending out cease and desist from my attorney, who is doing her job because she wants to make sure that people in the legal system know that these people do not represent me, and therefore they have been sent a cease and desist.
So law enforcement did not want you to send out those letters?
No, law enforcement has called me about them because everybody's up in arms that I sent out a cease and desist. Some of these people live right there in Sumner County. 3 of them do. T-Rev lives there. Klumati lives there. And so does T-Rev's girlfriend. I'm not even going to speak her name. She ain't worth it.
Whoa.
Well, she's not worth it because you thought she was gonna date you. Now, I cannot believe he's letting everybody know where Chlamydia, T-Rev, and the girlfriend that wouldn't be live. What's next? Their addresses? I don't think he understands what's going on. I truly don't. I truly, truly don't. I think someone in his camp who will remain nameless, because I got into it with him and he blocked me on Facebook. I don't even know how we became friends. I think someone has gotten in his ear and is capitalizing on it. He is a bumbling idiot. And because this Michaela was at his house late at night doesn't mean they're sleeping together. Because Chloe was at his house doesn't mean they were sleeping together, or anyone. That's nuts. And if they were, it's their business. Hey, Seth, you lost your girlfriend. I'm sorry. What do you want more? The girlfriend or you want your son? Focus. Because I don't give a shit. I really don't.
All 3 of them live there. And you know what? T-Rev has never showed up for a search. Oh, he bought hot dogs and buns. Appreciate it, buddy. I didn't appreciate everything else you did, like taking a picture of me while I was in my recliner in my house, stepping into my sanctuary and violating my sanctuary. Because not only did you violate my sanctuary, but this is also my son's sanctuary. I didn't appreciate that. Klumati showed up for, one search, only one search. And she acted all nice and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Introduced herself by her name, not by her, never once told me that she was a YouTubist, none of that sort of stuff. But I treated her like a regular researcher. Hi.
Researcher or searcher, YouTubist. Woo, I'm loving it. Because in the Summer Wells case, we're called YouTubians by Tim Mullen. YouTubians. And these YouTubists and YouTubians are used like crazy. YouTubist. A YouTubist. It is safe to say, Seth is not the brightest light in the tanning bed. Okay? And anyone that thinks they're going to jump on Seth's pogo stick to get information, well, the joke's on you because he don't have any. What's he been complaining about for 3 months besides money? Law enforcement won't talk to him. They won't let him sit at the big boys' table. They won't.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate your help. And then she turns around and plays, I want to be number 6 on, CP's list of marriage or whatever you want to call it. I don't care. People want to talk trash about me, but people want to look at me and tell me I'm trash and that I'm despicable because I have an opinion and attitude.
No, you don't deserve.
My son is missing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody who's never been in my position has the right to tell me anything. All right.
I agree.
Those that do have been in this position, I've spoken to, and I get different opinions from other people. And people want to, you need to get rid of this person on your team. No, I get rid of people that I watch their activities, I watch their actions, I listen to their words. And when actions and words don't meet up, something is wrong. I've always been a person that explains to my son that anybody can say anything, but your actions will speak louder to your words. What CP did to my son is horrific. My son cleans his room. Why? Because I use logic with him. Sebastian, you can't find this toy. You know why you can't find this toy? Because I had to come and clean up your room while you were gone. Now, if you clean up your room and you put things back, when you come back in here, you will know where everything is because you've put it in its special spot.
Exactly.
You didn't make him clean it up and go take his things to the trash, right? Make him throw his
Hell no.
things away. Yeah,
You know,
that's
this might be seen kind of selfish, but I'm a parent. I'm on a limited income because I work for the county. All right. I make $50,000 a year. I work 12-hour shifts and I deal with murderers and inmates that I believe can change.
absolutely.
All right. And I treat them like they're human beings
Yeah.
because I expect them to change. Are my sights set too high? Probably. But that's not for me to judge. I'm there to make sure they're safe while they're in jail before they go to prison. All right. I have a badge. I'm supposed to uphold that badge. I don't hide behind that badge. I am the representation of what the badge is supposed to be: honor, integrity, courage, commitment.
What the hell am I listening to? Okay, I'm on a limited income, $50,000 a year, okay? And they get a lot of time off when they work for the county. They do. They have good insurance, whole 9 yards. He already said, I think it was on Pascal's panel, that he still carries life insurance on Sebastian. I don't blame him. We have life insurance through my husband's work. But this money, I think rubs people the wrong way. Does anyone sense some jealousy? And it would suck, okay? It would suck to drive up to a $500,000 home to bring your son back, knowing you're going back to a little bitty apartment. You can't make ends meet. Now, I will say that a lot of people, hey, there's people that make $50,000 a year, and you would think they make 100 because they're good with their money. Seth has been known for a while, according to people that know him, to if he gets paid on Friday, it's gone by Monday. And then he's struggling till that next paycheck. So part of the problem is Seth. What he's going to have to do next is get a hold of Candace Wells and start hitting the coin pusher to make ends meet. And I think he's still infatuated with Katie. Again, that's just my opinion.
Only I can do that. I've had inmates, oh, you hide behind the badge. No, I'm the same person when you see me at Walmart in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, grabbing a gallon of milk and orange juice to go home so that my son has milk and orange juice to drink. Pick him up whatever he wants to cook for dinner or whatever he wants me to cook for breakfast, so on and so forth. I work. When my son is here with me, I work with him so that everything in this house is his.
Okay, so 4 days a month, you get milk, orange juice, and make sure Sebastian can eat what he wants. Anyone ever been totally just eaten out of house and home by your kids? Holy hell. I always knew when I was coming home from the grocery store, one, because I can be a real lazy bitch, I would stop and get Kentucky Fried Chicken so they were eating when I walked in. If not, they'd flog all the damn groceries. So 4 days a month, milk, orange juice, and whatever he wants to eat. And I think the reason, just my opinion, that Katie said, nah, we got the insurance. Nope, don't pay any child support is because she wanted as little contact with Seth as possible. But this fatherly virtue signaling makes me sick. I couldn't imagine if my husband was saying, I can't believe when we took the kids out to dinner, they ate all that food. What the hell? No. It's his responsibility when his son is there. What about all the times that he was given money to feed Sebastian over the weekend? That's insane. Unless everybody again is lying about Seth.
He knows what is his. He has to have room to grow. You cannot sit there and keep somebody trapped in a cube and expect them to grow. That does not work.
Absolutely. 100%.
People want to give me grief for how I raised my son. Well, I am sorry. I didn't think I should take him out on the street corner and pick a fight with somebody and show him what a real beating was. Yes. Did I tell my son I was going to bust his butt? Sure did. Did I use that exact verbiage? Probably not. Hello. I'm a first-time parent. It's a never-ending, everyday learn something new.
Yeah.
So I used a video game, which is better than watching an R-rated movie with a bunch of people being shot and having heads cut off or, things like that. No, I took a video game that we have played and I put the blood mode on so you can actually see it, because before there was none. I turned it off. He doesn't need to see all that. But yet I get criticized. And most of these people that criticize me don't even have kids.
Yeah.
Now, how would he know? Let's say Mermaid is in Brittany's chat. How would he know if Mermaid has kids or not? You don't fill out an application to go on YouTube. It doesn't list under your chat name where you live and how many kids you have. These people that criticize me don't even have kids. I guarantee a lot of the people that criticize you do have kids, because they can't figure out where your mindset is. They can't figure out why this narrative is nothing more than continuing the pissing match between you and your ex. Get back to the focus. He disappeared from under their roof. And I know that hurts for him to hear, but it's their roof. This isn't about you, buddy. This isn't about you. When law enforcement starts making headway in this case, guess who's going to forget about you, Seth? That is everybody in this chat. This is everybody in Brittany's chat, and it will go on and on and on, because then what we're going to have is truth and real facts. No one is going to be going, wonder what Seth's doing today. Wonder what Seth's doing. No. Tony will bolt. Tony will bolt. He'll be gone. And I feel very bad for people in these situations. It was explained to Landon, that is Gannon Stout's mother. Someone reached out to her and said, listen, you're making all these new friends. You've got all this going on. Just remember that as his case dwindles down, they're not going to be there for you. They're going to move on. Seth doesn't get that. He thinks he's going to be the prom king for years and years and years. He's not. I think part of this for Seth is true self-esteem and lack of self-confidence. Hence why he always goes after younger people. He wants to have that control. I mean, even of his own mother. You don't talk to anybody unless I say. That's according to her. That is according to her, not me. But now people want to hear what Seth has to say. This is something he's never had his whole life. You saw him, moving that shoulder around, moving it around, pulling up his pants. I'm running this investigation. If there's a problem, you talk to me. I had to get rid of this person, and this person, and this person. I'm running this operation. I'm gonna air all the dirty laundry. I'm in control now. Gotta be kidding me.
Honestly, don't hold that.
I have never once said I was perfect, nor will I ever say I am perfect. Sebastian, my son, may think that I walk on water, and I never want to lose that. I never want to lose that, because that means I'm his hero.
That's right. You're right. And you don't deserve
Have
to
I failed my son? Oh, yes. I am my worst critique ever. None of these people I hear saying anything can make me feel worse than I already am, until they sit there and start talking about my son being a sexual offender or any of that. My son was with me all last on the Christmas break. Faith wasn't here. I saw that rumor going out there. Sebastian was with me before Faith even got here. So people need to shut that rumor up.
We
all
did.
right?
Trust me. We have fought diligently to make sure that that's
15-year-old
not
kid
true.
that's missing.
That's right. And that should have never come out of anybody's mouth. And believe you me, here and in a lot of places I know, Seth, it won't be spoken, and we shut it down. That there's nothing to even
But there are YouTubers out here that promote that stuff. They got cease and desist because they're nasty and vile things.
Well, they have an agenda, right? They're playing up to Christopher Proudfoot.
Now, I don't know why Jules of Thought is saying they're playing up to Christopher Proudfoot. I don't know who they are, and I hate getting lumped in with that stuff. I mean, I can't stand it. I think Christopher Proudfoot, he came right out of the gate, and he was easy to not like. Easy to not like. And there's been some men that are like, I understand where he's coming from. He's trying to keep the madness away from his house. Hey, whatever. I don't know these people. If you put it out there, it will be talked about. Whether you're at the local coffee shop, you're in one of your Facebook groups, or you're on YouTube. You think you're going to say something like that and people aren't going to talk about it? So it comes down to this. Whose fault is it? Hey, you can go ahead. You can send out all the letters you want. If you try to go forward and sue, they're just going to bring your own words back to you. That's what they're going to do. Your own words. No one made this up. He did. To get one over on Chrissy Poo. Chrissy Poo's a bitch. Seth, you've painted yourself in a serious corner. But you can get out of it. You really can. Question is, do you want to? Do you like the attention better? You really want to keep pretending to be the big man? It's not working. Just for a few. There's a few people that you have hook, line, and sinker.
But they wanted him on panel because they're getting the views from him being there because he acts like such an ass.
Yep.
We could all act like an ass, and that there is nobody in this world that can't act like one. But what it comes down to is that he's not looking for Sebastian. His family's not looking for Sebastian. His own mother, Sebastian's own mother, is not looking for Sebastian.
It's insane.
She's not. Neither is his stepfather. We haven't heard anything about private investigators, private searchers. Personally, I would keep it private. I wouldn't let anyone know. you can't forget the punishments, to me, which are way over the top, that were going on inside their home. Seth could have stayed on that hill. He could have. But he decided to one-up him and drag himself down to the gutter. Do I think Seth did anything to Sebastian? I don't. I think he was truly at work. You know how easy that would be for law enforcement to figure out within their own system? So why are you playing into your ex and her new boo? What are you doing?
Craziness. To
Seth
get in a
was-
camper. To get in a camper and go 3.5 hours away from your house with your child
Well,
missing.
come on. It's 3 hours and 37 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you. How foolish of me. You're exactly right. That was
You know, let's break this down because Lord help us, we may or may not get stuck behind a semi on Route 40.
Yeah.
You know, that it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid just
It is.
because nothing is ever finite. Everything is infinite. There's no, it takes 3 minutes to do this. That's bullshit. You ask anybody. There's too many holes in their stories.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
just incredible. It's
I
incredible.
know where
I really wish, if he's going to continue the social media campaign, I don't think mainstream media is going to pick anything up. It's too messy. That's just my opinion. If he wants to continue the social media campaign, I really wish he would stick with that. I really do. With what he knows about the case. There's 2 CPS reports on Pawpaw Proudfoot. One in New Mexico and one in Tennessee. That would have a burr in my saddle that would burn. You don't have to explain anything to anyone. When people have questions like, how did you not know? Well, your mom said she was his confidant and he was telling her. You don't have to answer those questions. It's okay to say, next question, can't talk about that. And keep the focus on Sebastian. If you keep your focus, there's really not anything anyone can say. You want a mess, you've got a mess. And it is absolutely horrific. Now, also on Brittany's panel, I'm not going to go through everything. Catch it on Brittany's show. He talked about CrimeCon, and he just didn't feel like there would be anything there for him. I disagree, but it's not my life. He said he was busy searching that day. Well, the people that were searching didn't see him, but it's a big state. Okay, we don't know where he was. He didn't exactly give up his location. I know he was reached out to and just flat out gave another FU to people. He didn't say I'm out searching or anything. I'm not going to share anyone's text messages, private things. He can debunk it himself if he wants to. He can do it himself. What people are saying, he should be able to back it up if he really wants to. But he is right. There is huge holes in their story. In my opinion, there's a big difference between going to sleep on the couch at 10 o'clock and going to sleep at midnight. And I don't know of any parents or grandparents that are scared of anything more than their children being abused. I don't know of that. So the whole holding it over my head, didn't want to lose the trust. Come on. When most of us hear our children are any kind of peril, the answer is not to jump, but it's how high. But again, that's just my opinion. Well, guys, this has been a really great show, and I'm glad we got to unpack a lot of this, go through it. It is not Seth's operation, and it's certainly not his investigation. He doesn't know how to investigate. He works at the jail. He has not been promoted. He doesn't investigate anything. If somebody took him in to a toilet with shit streaks in it and told him, find out who shit in the toilet and didn't clean it, he wouldn't know where to start. Best thing he can do is focus back on his son and take the focus off of him. But someone is in his ear and sitting back and enjoying watching the Titanic go down. You guys are the absolute best. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday. If I don't see you in the Facebook groups or in Discord or whatever, we have 2 shows tomorrow. Yes, we do, my friends. Thank you, Mod Squad, because I know this is a very difficult case to talk about because there's too many people that honestly think they have to pick a side. They really think they do. They have, I mean, even with what law enforcement has said, we haven't found any evidence of foul play. They still think they have to pick a side. Why? Because they can definitely see the line drawn in the sand. You've got Seth on one side and the Proud Feets on the other, and they feel like they have to pick. They feel like it. Instead of just saying, damn, Sebastian didn't have it too good. I can't find a one of them that went above and beyond. But that's them, not me. All right, you guys are the absolute best friends anyone can have on these dirty YouTube streets. Keep being you. Keep thinking outside the box. Don't follow what some of these goofy ass people say. They're absolutely nuts. Don't worry about getting any letters because you have put your opinion out. And hug your kids, enjoy your life, and get out there and enjoy the weather. Love you guys. See you back here tomorrow.